Okay. Welcome to the second edition.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, baby, of The Treehouse Live.
Coming at you live
From
The
Treehouse.
Live.
We got some new stuff to talk about today. We've got some interesting things. We have a guest coming on later in the show. We have some recent additions to the crew as well. But first, we're going to talk about some of the birthdays that were either a few days ago, or today, or later on in the week. Sean Connery. We had the Mr. Sean Connery. His birthday was sometime.
Classic Bond. Am I right?
Regis Philbin.
Can we hear your impression?
Who wants to be a millionaire? Is that your final answer? Correct, for $32,000. Who else do we have? We have
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. I wonder what he's doing now.
Bad stuff.
He looks jacked up, dude.
Yeah.
In not the best way. Obama.
His parents shouldn't have left him home alone so much. Just what I'm saying. Man, if that actually happened in real life, if like
Child Protective Services.
yes, seriously, you leave your child on, like, how do you leave your 8-year-old child home alone when you're going on vacation? You
Dude.
get on a plane.
Wait, your parents didn't do that to you guys?
No, Jacob.
Sorry. About
We also have Michael Jackson.
Oh, can I give a shout out to the song "I'll Be There"? Personal favorite.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll be there. I'll be there. Ooh, yeah, baby. We also have
Just when you need
Alice
me.
Coltrane. Who's Alice Coltrane, Jacob?
Well, she was the wife of John Coltrane at one point, and I believe that she sang and played piano and the harp, and her music is very interesting. I'm not an expert on it or anything, but it's been suggested to me on YouTube, and I did click on it before, and it was very interesting.
All right, I need to check her out too, man. Let's see. Leonard Bernstein.
Oh,
The great Leonard Bernstein. For those who don't know, which I'd be surprised if you didn't know who the great Leonard Bernstein is.
and you should
He's one of the great American composers and artists of the 20th century. Highly regarded as one of the best composers. He wrote West Side Story.
know. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
He was the conductor of the New York Philharmonic for a period of time, amongst many other orchestras.
Have you seen that video of him where I wish I could remember the piece. There's a classical era piece though, and he starts it and then he just doesn't really do anything except for
His
kind of
face?
make faces.
Yes, that's
It's the slickest thing I've ever seen a conductor do.
Look on YouTube.
Just search Leonard Bernstein conducts with his face.
Yes, exactly.
Just search that and it will come up.
It's killing.
It's so awesome.
So we
It's
have
just cheeky.
Wayne Shorter.
Hey, now.
Just as important, Wayne Shorter, one of the best saxophonists and composers of American history. Let's see. What are some of your favorite tunes by Wayne Shorter?
Well, I think a lot of the tunes that people know come from the album Speak No Evil. But I mean, that would be selling him short because he's wrote a lot of tunes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think kind of from that generation of musicians, kind of like Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock, you just got to check out the live tapes sometimes.
I totally
mean, the
agree with
recordings are iconic, of course, but check out them playing live because that's when they just
let it out. Especially with Wayne Shorter playing with Jazz at Lincoln Center.
I have not seen that.
I haven't seen the video, but I've heard clips and recordings, and I've seen pictures.
I gotta see that.
I know.
I gotta hear that.
Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's gonna be killing because Jazz at Lincoln Center is,
I know you've seen it, but that video where Neil deGrasse Tyson is he's talking with Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock, and he asks him
he asks him about a photon.
What
a
a
photon.
photon sounds like. He describes the whole process of like how it spends an unfathomable amount of time inside the sun, and then when it gets outside of the sun, it takes like hardly any time at all for it to get to the sun from the sun to Earth. And he asked Wayne Shorter to play what that sounds like, and Wayne Shorter plays like one note or something.
And then Wayne Shorter explains like some
it doesn't make sense.
Beyond understanding that only Wayne Shorter, maybe Herbie Hancock would understand. It was funny because I think when Wayne Shorter explained what he meant, I think Herbie Hancock was just laughing. I think he just laughed, and I kind of think he was thinking like, man, Wayne is just messing with me.
He's trolling right now.
He's trolling Neil deGrasse Tyson. But check it out. Look up look up Wayne Shorter photon or Neil deGrasse Tyson
Wayne Shorter
something like that, photon.
Keywords in the search bar are your friends.
Yes, exactly. So we're gonna move on to do a little plug for the Collage Concert, if you guys aren't familiar with that.
Yes, Collage. Now, I have to admit, we are biased because we are performers in this event for, I guess, the third or fourth consecutive year now. But it's a big University of North Carolina Greensboro event, probably actually the biggest concert that occurs every year. And the reason it's so big is because all of the different areas of the School of Music, Theater, Dance, Performing Arts College come together to put on one show. Is very seamless transitions from one act to another. So for instance, you have the wind ensemble or symphony playing something epic, and then it'll go over here, the lights will turn off here and turn on there, and then you got like some crazy solo pianist or something, and then the jazz ensemble, and
you got dancers in the audience, or like big huge bass drums in the balconies that just go boom boom when it's like really dark. It scares everyone in the audience. It's a cool show. It gets sold out every year.
I would say if you're only going to go to one concert, then you should probably go to this one, because you will see a little bit of everything that's happening.
Yes, if you're in the North Carolina area, I'd highly recommend make the trip to Greensboro on...
on Greensboro, it's on September 9th, and this year we actually have 2 shows. So the next one is a week later on September 16th in Raleigh. That's going to be at Maimandi Concert Hall, which is very exciting because that's where the North Carolina Symphony plays, and it is just a beautiful space. So tickets range from $7, and that's a student price, all the way up to $26, which is the adult price, but they also range varying from whatever discount or what section you're purchasing a ticket for. I'd recommend you buy your ticket as soon as possible because it sells out every single year.
And I know those are the prices for the UNCG auditorium. I'm not sure if those are going to be the same prices for Maimandi.
But if you have any questions, just go to vpa.uncg.edu/collage, or just look up UNCG School of Music, and I bet the first thing you click on will have Collage on the homepage.
And we'll have our tech team put a link in there after the live stream.
Nice.
Speaking of the team.
Yes, speaking of the team, if you remember, if you watched the first episode, Jacob proposed to have an internship program. So we had a very enthusiastic person.
We admire ambition here at the TreeHouse Live.
Of course, yes we do. We have Mr. Nicholas Van Buskirk. He decided to be a part of the TreeHouse Live team.
He's our visual consultant.
He helps with the tech behind the scenes as well. We like to show Nick's beautiful face.
Everybody give Nick a hand. Yay, Nick!
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your friends, family, and fans back home?
Just, hey, what's up?
Killing.
How you doing? You have a good morning? I have a great morning. This is good morning.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have Nick. He's going to be helping behind the scenes and some other extra stuff as well. And he'll be coming on the show later to talk about some very cool things that are happening in Greensboro.
Woo! Yeah, Nick. Okay, well, let's see. Next up, or should I say, up next, have we language new developed? We have.
Believe I so we have.
Interesting is thing that matter no what, understand people do always.
Course of. Time every talk we like this, understand we percent 100.
Easy surprisingly would be surprised you.
But in the show later on, talk about this, we will more. Next,
Can't I?
next we would like to welcome our first guest on the show. We have the beautiful Miss Allie Lambeth. Hi, Allie. How are you?
It's great
I'm
to
doing
have
good.
you on
How
the
are you, Andrew?
Great. I'm doing great. So, Allie, tell us about yourself.
Well, I work at OnPopOfTheWorld Studios, which is an artist collective, mostly dedicated to music. We're a recording studio before anything else, but we also run live shows, maybe once or twice a week. We're kind of cutting down from the previous 4 shows a week
Wow.
because we're all tired.
Understandable.
Last night we had the hip hop barbecue and it was awesome.
I've wanted to check
Barbecue.
that out.
That's
Was it
too
cool?
bad because it was last night.
Right.
But it was really, really fun. DOG closed it out, and DOG always kills.
Killing.
So absolutely killing.
How long have you been part of? OnPop?
I have been part of OnPop since right around June 12th this year.
Oh, okay.
Which is the day that I turned 21. So
killing.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
I started out as kind of like a bartender, and I wrote all of their press releases and stuff like that, and then they realized that I could do web design stuff, so I started leading their web design program and stuff like that. So if you
Pretty
go to
cool.
onpopstudios.com, that's me. I did that.
All right. We'll put that link in the
Yes.
description as well after
And
this.
on the website, you can also find our show schedule, so you never have to miss one. You can also follow us on Facebook. We always have our events posted. It's OPOTW, on Pop of the World. Apparently it's based off of a Cheap Trick song, since my the guy who started this all up, Randy Sales, is a huge Cheap Trick fan.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah.
How'd you get involved with OnPop?
Well, Pierce Clausen brought me to a show, if you guys know him.
Okay.
He brought me to a show, like, I was bored, he was like, hey, Dottie just texted me, there's a show going on tonight, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go to a show, fine. Showed up, and you walk up from the outside, and it, like, this looks like a building I shouldn't walk into. Because it's like, Englandwood, it looks like it could be a little sketch, but the moment you walk in, it's just like, oh, this is what home feels like. And the people that live around us are all just like the best people in the world. The people who come in, it's a beautiful place. You just feel the love the moment you walk in. But I stopped missing shows after that first one.
Yeah.
Like we would have like 4 a week, and I'd be there for 4 a week. And back then it was $10 per show and complimentary drinks on the inside. But now we don't do the complimentary drinks, so it's only $5.
Okay.
But I just kept showing up, and eventually I was like, oh, I don't have any money anymore. So I walked up to one of the guys who works there, Matt, and I was like, hey, so can I, like, help? Is there anything I can do? I used to run marketing for a coffee shop up in Cullowhee, and I did web design since I've been in, like, 5th grade, and
Wow.
I write, so how can I help? And they just, like, told me, keep showing up, we'll find something for you to do, and boy, did they.
Oh, okay.
So-
So you do web design.
Yes.
What else? What else? How else are you involved?
Well, I help out running doors sometimes, which is not my favorite thing, but, you know, somebody has to do it. It's an important part of running a venue. I'm the smallest bouncer ever. But recently I've been helping out a little bit with, like, taking pictures and stuff like that.
Right.
But not as much. That's more someone else's forte. So... but pretty soon the band Pencil Fight is going to be going on tour, and I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah. So what bands are going to be playing there coming up?
This week we have Bob Fleming and two other bands playing with him. But next week on Wednesday we will have the Corduroys, the Good Graces, Red 7 and the Donuts, and Friendly Stranger playing Wednesday night. Next week. That's September 6th. You guys better be there because the Corduroys are awesome, and so is everybody else.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be an awesome show. And then, if you go to UNCG, you probably also know who Saffron is. They're going to be playing on September 30th, along with Jackson Honeycutt, as well as Arson Daly, which is a band from Boone.
So, what kind of music, like on a musical spectrum, like who, or like what kind of genre, I guess what kind of genre.
The best way
music?
to describe the genre that gets played at On Pop of the World is good.
Yeah.
Because we
Cool.
don't
I like that.
stick to a particular genre. We'll have some shows where we have a bunch of folk musicians come in. There'll be like a country singer or whatever. Then we'll have the hip-hop barbecue the next day, which is what happened this weekend.
Right, wow.
It's a good variety.
Yeah, no, if you play music, we will find a band that will go well with your set, and we'll make it work. I've seen every genre of music I could put my mind to. The band Pencil Fight, that's one of our house bands. They're more of like a jazzy jam band. They're really interesting. Everything up there is improvised. We've got a pianist, a drummer, and a bassist who just kind of like run around on stage trying to figure out what's going on.
Wow.
And
That sounds cool.
it's a cultural experience.
So if any bands are watching, or band leaders, go online to the OnPop website. Like I said, we'll put the link on there. See, you know,
You never know.
If you're trying to get some publicity, check it out. You know, OnPop, from what Allie's saying, sounds like a pretty cool place. I have yet to go check it out, but I kind of want to go check it out.
I will say we're currently booked out till November.
Perfect. So you know it's a good
Happen
venue.
in
Yeah.
place. And if it's already booked till November, if you are trying to play somewhere, it sounds like it's a pretty safe bet that people are going to show up.
Yeah.
If they're
And
booking that far in advance.
our October show set is going to be absolutely insane. We have Sarah Shook and the Disarmers coming through. And then we also have the band, if you're into folk punk, Days and Days is a huge deal on that scene.
Folk and punk.
And they are coming
Wow.
through on October 26th, so
Is that
you
like-
guys better be there.
Is that like acoustic punk or
Yes.
electric folk?
It's acoustic punk.
That's closer.
That's closer.
That's
Yeah,
kinda what I
yeah.
imagined. That sounds cool.
And this band in
sounds cool.
particular has like this super awesome trumpet playing chick who
now.
also has like this crazy awesome voice. But yeah.
Killing.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that stuff out.
So since we're talking about music, I kind of want to talk about the concept of, is commercial music, would you consider that art?
Commercial. So you're
Like the regular popular music?
so creating music to be a product.
Yes.
Well, that's tricky because I think you can make a lot of different products that are.
Well, let me
still
rephrase it.
art.
Let me rephrase it. Making the music as a form of, not as a form of like self-renewing or outwardly renewing other people, but just as a form of like a marketable product that you can make money off of.
Here's something interesting that I've kind of thought about in the past couple months. I don't remember what exactly led me to this. Oh, I remember actually. It was the song Redbone. I saw this video. That's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this video about the production of it. It's just this one Norwegian dude who's in the studio by himself, playing all the parts, and then Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, gets to put his stuff on it. Sounds great, you know. But, I mean, if we're being honest, the Norwegian guy did everything. And he's not, you know, he will get the credit in the regards of being the producer of that song, you know. And I guess it was intended for Childish Gambino, but, like, something I've noticed, because I used to be very quick to dismiss pop music, especially the further I dove into music. And I think now I'm realizing the subtleties in pop music isn't really in the performing, because if the performing is imperfect, they'll just fix it. The subtlety of pop music is in the production. It's in the layering, it's in how it progresses, it's in what makes it exactly pleasing to your ear.
I feel like
And visually as well, you know?
commercial music in itself is a kind of art form, not so much that it's not particularly an art form that I enjoy listening to, but getting into like the common brain and finding something that pleases the masses does take some amount of effort, because imagine you're writing a song. Obviously you guys are both musicians, you know how hard it is to write songs sometimes. Imagine like having this very particular like, all right, we have to make sure that this chord progression matches this, and if you don't hit these notes all perfect, like, then nobody's gonna like
It's
your
like
stuff.
trying to order a pizza for like 20 people, but
Exactly.
only one really big pizza that can only be one thing.
And like 6 of them are vegetarians and the other 6 want meat.
Just cheese.
What about the meat
I'm a
lovers?
I'm vegetarian.
Yeah, see? No, I'm just kidding.
It's hard to please everyone. That's the thing.
Exactly.
I-
I'm the
I
worst
gave
person to
up
order
on-
pizza with.
Is
Being a
commercial
vegan
food
several
art?
times, for the record. What?
Is commercial food art?
Commercial.
It depends. Is
Well,
it
what-
It's kind of the
McDonald's?
same thing. It's like the
Don't
food
trust
that
McDonald's.
pleases the masses is like, I would argue that that's not a very high quality.
The people just aren't checking out enough. They're not checking out enough restaurants, dude. They're not checking out enough
Go to your
music
local places. Listen to your local
Specifically the local restaurants.
develop a taste.
Greensboro
Yes.
specifically, Greensboro, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, is a food desert, which means that per capita there's a very low amount of grocery stores. But the crazy thing about Greensboro is that there's an absurd number of restaurants, especially local restaurants, and they're all
Good.
mostly really good.
Via Del Mar is the best restaurant I've ever been to.
Via Del Mar.
Via Del Mar, dollar tacos Tuesday, Thursday.
Via
Can't
Del
go
Mar.
wrong. Shout out to Via Del Mar. What else we got, Andrew?
Well, I kind of want to keep going with this commercial art, but so we're all musicians, right?
Yeah.
You know, so do you find any, personally, do you guys find any discomfort when you spend a lot of time on whatever song you're writing and you put it out on SoundCloud or Bandcamp or whatever medium to show people, and you know, you share it, they share it, and people are like, yeah, I like it, it's cool. But then you listen to a song that's on the radio, and it's like, you know, it's crazy. Everyone loves it, but it's not, musically speaking, not a lot of work went into it.
Let me
You know,
propose a strange metaphor. This is a true story. I'm gonna reference my old neighborhood pal Ben Hartman, who also went to my middle school. He's probably not watching right now, but that's okay. He started this trend when he was in 7th grade, I think, and it was one of those things where he just wanted to start a funny trend. And he started wearing like a plain white t-shirt over a collared shirt. And, you know, at first, he was the weird kid doing that. But then, like, one other guy started doing it, and then it kind of went on from there for however long that went on. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you're not already happening, in terms of being a successful musician or a successful image of a musician, it's not easy to jump on your bandwagon.
Yeah.
But when someone's on the radio, on the hit station, and you've never heard it before, it's really easy to be like, wow, how have I not heard this before?
Well, you know, that brings up, like, a sense of community that all us musicians have to have. You know, like, say Allie has something killing that she worked on that she, like, really was passionate about. She shares it, whatever. So, we gotta, like...
Be hype about
Be
it.
hype about it. She's the one wearing the t-shirt over the collared shirt. We gotta do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Give me that white t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And so, once more people are wearing t-shirts over the collared shirt, more people will like that music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I
So-
think the biggest thing for local musicians is to be really consistent, you know? Like, putting one song on SoundCloud isn't going to do it for you. But
Of course.
just keep doing it and keep doing it, you know?
Because that's how everyone gets known.
That's actually something they've kind of realized about classical composers, which is that, like, the names we all know, like Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, I mean, yeah, like, we know them for a reason because they were geniuses. But when they look at volume of compositions created, Mozart, Beethoven, and Bach have way more than, like, anyone else in that era. It's like, no wonder they're the people we remembered, because they were doing it
all the time.
that's what they were doing. They weren't doing anything, like, I mean, not that they weren't doing anything else, but, like, that's what they were always doing, you know?
I
Yeah,
think it's really important for the music community to hype each other up as much as possible.
I totally
like,
agree.
How could you make music and put something out there and then expect everybody to share it if you're not gonna be like, hey guys, check out this cool band that just played last night.
Right.
Exactly.
Share these links out. Like, anytime a band comes through on Pop that's just, like, absolutely mind-bogglingly amazing, I don't care where they're from, I'm sharing them somehow.
Yeah.
We had this one band
it all
come
comes
through.
around.
This girl from Brooklyn, River, she's in a band called Ghost Piss. It's a solo band, and it's awesome. She is so freaking cool, and then she is just the biggest hype woman for everybody else who came on the show. Like, it was one of my favorite artists that I've seen come through there.
Ghost Piss.
Yes, she's on Bandcamp. You can put the link in the thingy. She's amazing. She's amazing. I need her to release more music immediately.
So, talking about the local music scene, do you guys have anything online?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you have?
Well, it's a little dated at this point. It's under my previous name, but soon I will be releasing a live solo album from my set last
Okay.
month.
Okay.
Or was it earlier this month? Jeez. Time is an illusion. Anyways, but I'm going to be releasing it under my stage name, Andy L.
Okay.
ANDIEL.
Oh, nice.
The OnPop crew gave me my new nickname, and
Okay.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge
I like
fan
it.
of
Yeah, I like it too.
I don't like Allie nearly as much as I like Andy.
Yeah.
Andy L. But yeah, that should be coming out within next couple weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. Jacob, do you have anything?
I do have a couple things online and something coming up I'd like to mention, but I'd like to use this opportunity to direct you to the Greensboro Collective, which is just a general community of artists based in Greensboro, obviously. So if you go to the Greensboro Collective, either on SoundCloud or Facebook or Instagram, you can be exposed to lots of different things that are happening in Greensboro. Obviously, you just gotta check out places like OnPop or other local venues to really know what's going on. But the Greensboro Collective is a great place to find out about what young up-and-comers are up to and stuff like that. I have a couple things on there that are from just me doing stuff solo, but I have a radio performance coming up on September 24th on the WUAG radio station, which is UNCG's radio station. Andrew's going to be playing with me on that, actually, and I've got my homies Matt Laird and Zach Covington playing with me, and we're just going to be playing some original music and maybe a Joe Beam cover.
Hey now.
I've been thinking about when I was driving here
Real
from
quick,
Boone this
for
morning.
people who don't know who Joe Beam is, can you tell them?
Antonio Carlos Joe Beam is one of the most well-known bossa nova composers. the American jazz community has really taken a liking to his music. His music is often played within the jazz paradigm, although it's usually a little different than bossa nova, which is a whole other discussion of its own. But I'd be willing to bet that Stan Getz had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
So check out Stan Getz playing with Joe Beam, and like João Gilberto is a great bossa nova singer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Joe Beam, it's just great music. What was I talking about?
Music. Any more music? You said.
What were you working on, Andrew?
Well, I mean, I had my own website, andrewsanchezmusic.com, but that is down right now. I need to revamp that. But all my music was on there. All my links to all my music. But I will work on that.
Keep a lookout for that.
Or if you want to hear some original jazz music, original classical music, original music, send us a message.
Seriously, request anything.
Yeah, and we'll just send you the link to the music that we write, just because we want to share it, you know. And if any other musicians are out there, if you want to send us a link to your music, we can maybe in the future upcoming episodes we can talk about, you know, whatever music that you guys send us. We'll
Review your tracks or something.
Review your tracks.
Give you a shout out.
Mm-hmm. Now, with this, I would like to segue into reviewing another piece of music for the music of the week.
Oh yeah.
So last week we did
Ella at Duke's Place.
Ella at Duke's Place.
Or is it just Ella at Duke's?
Ella at Duke's Place.
Okay, that was right first time.
Just the album in general was really good.
This week we'd like to suggest the song Monk's Mood, which is just
Who's the composer?
Thelonious Monk.
And who is he?
Thelonious Monk is, I don't know if he was fully appreciated until after like the peak of his career, but he got his start playing Charlie Parker, I believe, in the bebop era, and later he would go on to kind of do his own thing, which is where he really could shine, because the way he heard things was just so different than everyone else, and people kind of thought he was crazy, and maybe he was a little bit crazy, but man, the music that he came up with, give it like 5 listens,
Active listening,
and then
like
only then will you start to really appreciate it, I think.
Yeah, he's a true architect of our American music, a true architect of melody, and just is the ultimate example of an American artist.
And if you want to hear maybe arguably the classiest interpretation of some of his music, check out Standard Time Volume 4 by Wynton Marsalis, because that is just
or Marsalis Plays Monk.
Is that what? Oh, I think that is actually what it's
I
called.
think the
Standard Time Volume 4.
I think that one has some monk music on it. I think.
I thought it was all monk for some reason.
Marsalis Plays Monk is all monk music. But anyways, check out both
Either
of those
way.
albums.
That's all good.
So, Jacob and I just saw this funny video, which is quite absurd, and I'm very surprised that that we'll just talk about it. So this lady walks into a liquor store, and it sounds like I'm starting a joke, but this is actually for real. Lady walks into a liquor store, and the camera's like they caught.
It's right on her.
It's right on her, and she straight up took 18 bottles of liquor, like small bottles, big bottles, and she was like putting them in her purse. She put them in her body and stuff.
When she walks in, I could kind of tell, because I mean, you know from the title like what's about to happen, but it's another thing to actually see it.
Yes.
So when she walks in, you can kind of tell that she knows exactly what she's about to do. She walks to the middle aisle. She opens her purse. She starts grabbing bottles. She's like kind of looking, but not really. She's just kind of grabbing them. And then her purse is full. She's carrying it like it's nothing, which is kind of impressive. This seems like that'd be heavy. But so she runs out of room in her purse. And like someone who doesn't work there is like witnessing this, and she does not care at all. And then when she runs out of room in her purse, she starts putting them in her pants, starts putting them in her shirt.
Well, wasn't there another dude that was like next to, like, Huge was at the liquor store and he saw what she was doing.
He was just like, is this for real right now?
Like, what's this lady doing?
I'm just surprised that she wasn't going for top shelf. She was going for, like, you know,
Right?
the middle range stuff. Like, if you're not going to spend money on
Yeah,
it,
you might as well.
you
get
might
the
as
best
well
stuff.
go big or just go home. Or, you know, both. Go home and drink.
You know, I wonder, like, what her thinking process was when she woke up that day. Because, like, if you're going to steal 18 bottles of liquor, I don't think that's just, like, I'm going to steal 18. Like, it's like,
I feel
don't think
like-
it just, like,
So
pops
you-
in your
it
head.
must
I
have
feel
been
like that's planned.
premeditated.
That's
I feel
like,
like-
hey,
like-
we're having a big old party tonight, and I can't afford to buy all this liquor. So we're going to make the best jungle juice ever.
Yeah, and then, like, and then I bet someone's like, how are you going to get all that liquor? She's like, oh,
Sorcery.
I got it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I mean, can you imagine, like, did she get caught? I didn't watch the video.
No, she made it up.
Paid for
She
one
she
bottle.
paid. She goes up to the counter after she's like filled with liquor bottles, and
Literally.
she puts one on the counter. I actually don't even know if she bought it because she put it on the counter and then she just kind of left.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't think she got it. I think she put it on the counter and walked out. And then it cuts to the camera, which is outside the liquor store on like the little sidewalk under the awning.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of walking away. And she looks, when she gets closer, I feel like she has a little bit of a smirk on her face.
I
Like,
bet.
I just did it. I got away with it.
I would have more than a little smirk on my face. I'd be like, man, I just stole 18 liquor bottles. Who wants some? Party at my place.
Oh my goodness.
So, if you guys could steal anything in abundance like that, like what would you steal?
Probably liquor.
But you have to, but you have to fit it in your clothes.
Oh, man.
Talkies.
I would say musical
She knows
instruments,
it
but that would be
means.
really hard to, like,
Yeah.
Do?
It's true. It's not malleable.
yeah, no.
Well,
You can't even fit a ukulele. Like, I'm too small for that. Maybe, like, really top quality microphones.
If
just,
I-
like,
Yeah.
some 1/4-inch cords
That's what I would do. Dude.
down my
Probably
pants.
microphone.
Have, like, a
If I
little,
could-
little tail.
if I could figure out a way to put all this stuff in my clothes without it getting ruined,
Yeah.
I'd do flowers.
Of course.
I would do flowers. Just cause,
It's terrible that you have to even steal flowers.
well, I mean,
You know?
like,
I guess that brings up an ethical discussion, which, if you pick a flower, are you stealing it? And if you're stealing it, are you stealing its life?
You are.
Totally.
The answer is yes.
Well-
You just killed the flower. Good job.
someone could also make the argument that the reason that flowers are there in the first place is for our enjoyment.
No, it's for flower to reproduce. The reason it's pretty is so that bugs will land on it and put its pollen elsewhere. It's not
Of course,
for us.
to reproduce and because once they reproduce, there's more flowers for us to enjoy, just to look at, you know, as an aesthetic pleasing to the eyes and pleasing to the nose.
I think we have a dual simultaneity moment right here, where both things seemingly contradictingly are true.
It's a mutual relation. I mean, it's a mutual beneficial
Symbiotic relationship.
symbiotic relationship. That's what I was. Mutualism.
Xbox One X. Look at that.
So yeah, we'll move on to the next segment.
Video games.
Sure.
Nick, you kind of read something about it. Could you tell us about the Xbox One
Give
X?
us a rundown on the Xbox One X, which I will lead by saying is a stupid name.
Get up there.
The Xbox One X, and this is the only thing I read about it, it's surprisingly, according to Microsoft, the most powerful console that currently exists.
How powerful is it?
It's 40% more powerful than any other console.
Dude, you could build a computer. Builder than
Yes.
I think there's already
Xbox is
a computer console that is stronger than the Xbox One X.
Which
I
is
feel like they're saying words to make themselves sound cooler, and it's
not
failing
working.
miserably.
So we go from Xbox to Xbox 360. So Xbox turn around in a circle, look in the same direction. Xbox Xbox One, which really
Wait,
isn't
no,
true
there
because
was-
it's the third Xbox.
There was that. What's 360 times 2? 7.
They did not have that.
There was
That's
an
Xbox
well,
One.
They talked about it, and then it just didn't happen.
They were
just
like,
didn't
that's
happen?
too
It just
didn't
complicated.
happen.
We'll just
Yeah.
make it the Xbox One, which is actually the third Xbox we've made. And now they're making the Xbox One X, and 1X in terms of algebra is still 1. So it's basically the same thing as an
Unless
Xbox One
X
at
equals
face
something
value.
else.
Why aren't they
Xbox.
telling us
Let's
what
solve
X
for
equals?
X.
What does X equal, Microsoft?
Maybe they're just entertaining themselves.
It's
and
40%
us-
more power.
Maybe they just
How stupid can we make this name and still make $1 billion by Christmas?
Okay, so I guess we can all agree that none of us are Xbox people.
Well,
I'm an Xbox person.
I have spent many.
Okay, so
You could
Xbox.
argue valuable
All right,
hours
so what's the
playing
be-
my
what's-
Xbox
what's-
360.
What's
I
the
like
what's
that
the
console.
best entertainment gaming system?
Subjective, dude.
The one, dude.
The one as an overall entertainment.
Well,
yeah, I'd
I
say
mean
the one is
of
really good.
all systems, not just Xbox. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo,
Well, we're talking
Sega.
about just to play games or to do other things? Because they have other
Just as the
functions.
system as itself.
It's
Per
Tamagotchi, hands
dollar.
down.
We got one for Tamagotchi.
I never actually had Tamagotchi.
I don't know, dude.
I suck
with
at
the one,
Tamagotchi.
you know, you go on Netflix, you go on the internet.
You do that with
with
computer.
You can do
You
that
play
on.
Blu-ray.
You can get on Netflix.
Do you play Blu-ray on the computer?
You
Yeah.
can do that on a
I don't-
PS3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like
If you have
Like-
the right computer.
yeah, all the latest consoles like have a bunch of shit, but like if we're talking about if we're talking about video games, you know, personally me like the Xbox 360 was
Yes.
was
I
my
had
biggest.
gameplay.
That's where
360,
I
dude.
spent the most time was Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And you know
Agreed.
what? The
Replayability.
controllers for the 360.
Oh, they were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
perfect. You
I
can't
have to
get
say,
better design than that.
I will say, Ricky and I still play FIFA 12 on all the time because we make bets. I've won every single one, for the record.
I know.
Oh,
I want to
wanna
play you in
after
FIFA.
this?
To what? We've gone as far as 100 goals, not in one day, of course. But
Let's hear it for the 64. And
So-
64.
in 64 was a
So
good console.
let me bring up this. You said the Xbox 360 controller was like ergonomically was really nice
Oh yeah,
in your hands.
PlayStation to me is awkward as hell.
No,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
well, hang
pretty
on.
close to being the
Xbox
same.
has the superior controller.
I'm gonna
I-
say GameCube controller is the best controller.
Oh, you're right.
bull shit.
I think it's right. I think
No,
it's right.
because GameCube controller came before the Xbox 360, and just
Dude.
the concept of AB. That was Xbox. You know, Xbox took that from the Nintendo GameCube controller. AB, XY.
That's true.
I
You
think
know,
you could
C-stick?
say, you could argue that came from arcade games though,
True.
True, but the Nintendo
or
company.
the joystick. Did you ever play an old computer game with
Yeah.
a joystick?
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
I played Atari.
All right, so my thing is like the GameCube controller, it's just like the way it feels in your hand. Not even the buttons, just the way it feels
Yeah,
in your
if
hand.
it's-
It's just like it's ergonomically, in my opinion, like it's just the
All
best.
your fingers are already automatically on.
That's cool.
all the right
I
buttons.
think it's slightly bulky. I think it's just like a
It doesn't
bit-
feel natural.
You think the
personally.
GameCube controller is
I think
bulky
it's just-
versus the Xbox 360
I think it's
controller?
just like a little too much this.
Are you kidding me?
But I think the Xbox 360 is just like really.
Yeah, for
slick and-
GameCube, it's like
I
the
think
claw.
it's opposite.
No, because
I
I
think-
think
Xbox is like
I don't know.
curved.
I think we need some models in here so
Yeah.
we can.
Well,
Well, we don't have it. We don't.
It's okay.
next week.
So
Well, can-
is anyone a
I like
Wii
my
person?
controllers
Is anyone a
sleek
Wii
and
person?
smooth.
Anyone like that?
the Wii, dude. Okay, I'm gonna state my opinion as like Nintendo's the best company of all. Gaming company, when it comes to gaming companies, they're the absolute best because they are the innovators, and everyone takes from them once they innovate what they're doing.
I don't see how the 360 comes from Nintendo.
Xbox, the 360 wasn't really innovative.
I think the Xbox 360 and the PS3 kind of at the same time, they improved on the current model a lot.
Yeah.
And it was worth it. I think the Wii made strides in a new direction, and when they first started it, it was kind of like Wii Sports, you know? And they had that game Red Steel, which they advertised for a lot.
And Zelda Twilight Princess, dude.
And
That game was so
I never played that game.
amazing.
Well, Andrew, what do you think Nintendo gets right over all the other consoles?
They're innovators.
What
They're-
did they innovate?
Just new ideas. Like with the Wii, with the motion control.
well, let's take this opportunity to go to this Switch, which is a very innovative console, and
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
you can
just-
speak a lot
just
on that.
with any anything. Like the 64 when that came out, that was completely innovative. When the GameCube came out, just the system itself is so portable. It's a cube and it has a handle on it. You can just take, and it's so easy to transport. And like we were saying before, the controller is very
Debatably ergonomic.
And as well as, let's see, the Wii with the motion control. Xbox Kinect came after that. The
That
PlayStation,
is true.
PlayStation with the ball on it. That one, that looked weird, but that was.
But
And the PS4 has that touchpad.
Yeah.
I have a PS4.
And
Never
then
use the touchpad. Stupid
with
feature. Whatever. It's okay.
we had the Wii U come after that with the gamepad, like with the 2 screens. That wasn't as hip
The Wii
as
Fit was pretty awesome. I got really jacked off of that.
the Wii Fit was. Pretty good. Yeah.
been snorting some Wii Fit here.
What?
That's
just
a
funny
white pad.
segment.
Yeah, I did like the Wii Fit, dude.
I liked it too, man.
Yeah.
It helped.
And they
my
made a Wii
balance.
Fit for the Wii U. You know?
It was the only time I hung out with my family.
Oh wow, that's cool, man.
The Wii Fit. We
Bring-
had to.
Bringing
We
family,
needed
and
to.
see that's Nintendo. Nintendo is very much about bringing people together. Like in all their commercials, when they're advertising new system or new games, it's all about bringing people together. You know, which will
I
bring
did
me
see that with the Switch advertising.
which will bring me to the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is. I mean,
Here we go.
I'm sure everyone can. Almost everyone could agree that the Switch is one of the most innovative, perhaps the most innovative gaming system there is.
I've never even touched a Switch controller.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Ricky. Behind the TV.
So tell us some stuff about the Switch while he's doing that.
Well, so the Switch, is it not back there? I guess I haven't set it up yet.
Is it this?
That's the Pro controller. It's okay. Never mind.
This?
No, never mind. It's okay.
That
Anyway,
is not my
one
day.
of the crazy features of the
with
Switch.
with the Switch, you know, the console itself is a handheld system, right? With the screen, okay, and you have these 2 controllers that are called Joy-Cons that go on the system, okay. So you can take this system, like your old PSP or any other handheld system.
Oh, I forgot about
forgot
the
about
PSP.
PSP.
The Nintendo
Movies on the go.
the Nintendo DS as well. That was cool. Anyways, back to the Switch. You know, you have these Joy-Cons, right? And all you have to do, you know, say you're on the go, you're walking your dog or whatever. You know, you're at the park, your dog's running around, you're playing Zelda, you know, whatever cool game. Go back. You go back home. You want to finish the game that you're playing, you know, before you have to go to work or something. So all you have to do is put the console, the actual console, the tablet, on the Switch dock. Take the Joy-Cons off. You can take the Joy-Cons off. They're each by themselves one remote. One Joy-Con is one remote. Just
But
by
you can
itself.
use them both at the
But
same
you
time.
can use
right?
them
As
both
one.
at the same time. There's a controller that you can put the Joy-Cons on, and you play the game on the TV. It just shows up on the TV. It is truly it is an amazing system. And they went back to putting the games on cartridges, like the DS cartridges.
I like that.
I like it too. It's easier
Dude,
to carry around.
I can't tell
It's-
you how many discs
Exactly. It's more
that
durable than a disc.
I've messed up, or more often than that, other people have messed up my discs.
So let us know in the comments what you think. What's better, Xbox, PlayStation, Sega, Nintendo? Sega was
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
Sega was really good. If they did have a bad marketing team, I think they would have beat Nintendo, because Sega was very innovative as well. They were the first first gaming company to have online gaming with the Dreamcast.
Wow.
You know,
I never really liked that.
and the Sega Dreamcast didn't get a whole lot of hype. But man, that system was cool. They had that Sonic game on it. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Sonic Adventure, maybe, I can't remember. But that game was so cool. You could do online Chow battles. For those Sonic fans, you know what a Chow is. For those non-Sonic fans, a Chow is just like it's kind of like a Tamagotchi little monster. You know, you can customize it. You can go on races or whatever. It's cool. Just look up.
Club Penguin.
Club Penguin, though.
Club Penguin.
I had a Club Penguin membership for like 2 months, and then couldn't afford it anymore, and I was so upset.
Dude.
So upset. I saved up all my allowance for forever, got myself that Club Penguin membership, not realizing that it was gonna wear off, and then it wore off, and it took away all my stuff, and I was like,
Curse you, Club Penguin.
So
my life's work!
let us know what you think. Xbox, whatever, you know. Next, I want to go to
What we got?
we got. Well, Ricky was doing some research on like some hip current events that are happening right now. And there's this teacher lady. Is she local, Ricky, or is just some? Do you remember?
In the States, but not around here now.
Okay. Well, she would when she grades her students' papers in class, she'll put on an Iron Man mask, so no one will notice her expressions or reactions when she grades the papers. So just that in itself, that's a cool teacher, cause she's letting the students know, like, I mean, some of your stuff really sucks. And like, I'm not gonna.
I don't want you to see my disappointment.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush and tell you like
in your epic
yeah,
failure.
it's nice. This actually really sucks. But why an Iron Man mask? You know?
Yeah, I mean, she must be a fan of Iron Man, or it just might be
Or
really.
she just happened to get an Iron Man mask.
You know, just be very like commercially available or whatever.
That's
But I
true.
Yeah,
think
like she was probably just in Walmart, and there was an Iron Man mask and a Captain America mask, and she wasn't feeling very patriotic.
Well,
Or the
has a mask.
the Iron Man mask covers her entire face.
if you could buy, like, whose mask do you wish they would have in stores?
Batman.
A Batman? They have Batman masks, I think.
They
But Jake-
absolutely
Jake is
have
I'm
saying
sure
Batman
they do,
masks.
but I don't have one. So if someone wants to send me one,
Hey.
Superman mask.
Yeah.
Think about that.
so you want to look like a generic white guy that's secretly Philadelphia.
Just the glasses. It's a,
Dude,
Whoa.
I want to find a Spider-Man mask. I love Spider-Man.
dude, Spider-Man's pretty cool, man. I honestly, favorite superhero. I don't know, man.
It's tough.
It is tough.
A Human Torch mask?
Just set yourself on fire. Gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. Doctor Strange is pretty cool, dude.
I really want a
Doctor-
Jafar
Okay,
mask.
if I could
love
be a
Doctor Strange.
superhero, I would probably want to be Doctor Strange.
You've been trying to be
What do you mean?
meditating and studying all that.
I mean, that's not what he does. He studies ancient texts to understand how to manipulate time, and he has that ring, which I still don't understand how that does anything.
I don't know.
It's,
I'd have to read the comics again.
But I don't. He didn't in the. At least I haven't read the comic books, but in the movie, he didn't. He didn't meditate at all. I don't think he was just reading all the books, and then at night he would astral project in his sleep so that he could read while he was asleep.
Dude.
You have some experience with astral projecting.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I have online. I make binaural beat music, specifically tailored for different things.
Check it out. It's very relaxing.
Not to
I did
divert
not know
away
you
too
did
much.
that.
Dude, binaural beats are actually really easy to make.
That's what I use to, like, force myself to sleep when I can't. So,
I mean, it's great. It really does help.
yeah,
you
no, it's good
fall
stuff.
asleep.
Andrew, did you read the Doctor Strange comics, or you just like the movie a lot?
I read a little bit of the comics, but I watched the movie.
You're a fan of the MCU?
Yeah, dude.
Have you
Dude,
read the comics?
I have a comic of Doctor Stranger's. It's cool.
I'd like to borrow that.
I'll show it to you,
Yeah.
man. I have the like the first 17 comics of Spider-Man also.
Dude,
It's like a 400-page
borrow
book. It's awesome.
400 pages, really?
Yeah,
That's pretty
it's
crazy.
awesome. It's a good read. You know, like right. You know, the first comics of Spider-Man. It's great.
Comics, man.
I think we should bring that back. It's such a good way to.
Dude, I think they are. There's more and more comic book stores are coming out.
Well, you know, I think Marvel has done a good job bringing back superheroes.
With the movies, most definitely. The movies is.
I know people are getting sick of them, but
but people aren't realizing that the point of the movie is not the movie. The point of the movie is to market Marvel again. Is to make Marvel into the public eye.
Money. They want to beat the dead horse.
I think ultimately that is
Yep.
probably
well,
motivation,
I have.
but the movies do have
I
entertainment
have
value.
a big thing to say about the movies, and I get that a lot of people think that comic movies are just kind of like the same movie over and over again,
Because they are.
and that the same thing's just gonna happen. But now, like, superhero movies are relatively new, and like the first ones we got were like the X-Men ones and the Blade ones, and sure, like in the first. Like, for the first 10 years, superhero movies were basically the same movie.
A decade
now-
doesn't make it relatively
No.
new.
But now... But in the history of film, you know what I mean? Film has been around for like 130 years now. 10 years is a short amount
That's
of time.
pretty crazy.
And so... But now... Like, now that we've, like, defined, like, what a superhero movie is, we can, like, pass that definition, and now these superhero movies are taking, like, different identities. Like, Captain America, the Winter Soldier...
That's exactly the one I was thinking
like
about.
not
That
even a
is-
superhero movie. It was like a spy movie. It was they're starting to be different kind of
That is a really
movies. Like
very
Ant-Man
cool
was
movie.
like a comedy.
I
You know
haven't
what I
seen
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
different kinds of movies now because now they could branch away from the tropes of what is a superhero movie.
Interesting.
And you need to like be aware of that now
But-
when you
but-
look at them.
But then it goes into tropes of other types of movies. Like that movie
Yeah.
was like a spy movie, you know, and it had
Let's
like
take this other trope and mix it in with this
Ex-
constant
exactly.
money-making
Well, all
trope.
that- I mean, all that-
feel like original.
I mean, look, all that filmmaking is just like revamping tropes, you know, and putting them in a different kind of combination. If you want a completely new, different film, like you want an artsy film.
Well, I feel like you could
Then you
argue.
shouldn't be watching superhero movies.
You could
Exactly.
argue. You could argue
Well, that is my
like
point.
you could argue.
That's why I can't
You could
stand
argue that
superhero
like
movies.
literally any art nowadays is going to be an imitation of something else because there's just so much all the time. But like, there's so many remakes and just like superhero movies are based on things that already like exist, like art that already is. You know, that's like based in like a creation of some that happened previously.
With
you know?
movies in general, I'm honestly pretty sick of the, oh hey, this book made a lot of money, let's like change it entirely and make a movie about it and people will love it, right? My
Yeah.
version's
I mean,
better.
Like I don't think that's cool. I don't like seeing all these sequels. What is bad about it is unmotivated and uninspired sequels, and you could tell when it's just for money.
Yeah.
But some
Yeah.
are great. Some there's really a story to tell, and
I
you
agree.
have to give it to Marvel for they're doing like 28 films at one point. All that it tells one story about it, one universe, and that has not happened yet, and that's amazing.
That's pretty crazy. Even just
That's
like
true.
the Iron Man and Captain America thing, like going from just like all of these characters like individual movies, and then Captain America Winter Soldier, and then coming with like
the Avengers movies.
Civil War, Iron Man, Captain America, Civil War. Those were all like, I don't know. Those were good movies.
They're pretty
Even,
awesome.
Say what you will about like
I know they're not.
plot and like
Yeah.
oh it was this or that, but like it
You have fun. They're
entertained
for
me.
kids, you know.
It entertained
They're for
me.
kids, they're just to have fun, you know. But I have a good time with them. They bring a smile to my face, and that's what I like. I like to feel good. I like to be inspired, you know.
And
I-
you know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I did really like Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Wonder
haven't
Woman
seen that.
was awesome.
I have not
I
seen
want
it.
to see
was
that.
awesome.
I need to see that.
Gal Gadot
Yeah, it was
killed
pretty
it.
awesome.
I
cried a
hope
few
to God I
times.
didn't just butcher
You
her
know,
name, but oh my God.
Godot. Yeah,
Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. She's amazing, and yep.
Sounds
I'm not a
really great.
superhero
Sounds
movie
like a
person.
chocolate.
That was a good superhero movie.
So there you go. If you're not a superhero person, if you're not a superhero, like all of us are,
I'm a
watch the movie.
superhero. Shh.
In the I don't think it was Civil War. It was the one with Tron, not Tron.
Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
that the
That's
movie?
the second Avengers movie.
Yeah. So what do you think if like
Hmm.
some like Age of Ultron, like Ultron?
Oh, we're talking about AI now.
Yeah.
Great segue.
Oh.
I need to shake your hand for that one. Fantastic
So, like,
segue into AI, dude.
So for like
S rank segue.
So Ultron is this super smart. I guess you could say AI,
And
artificial
you know what he did?
intelligence.
He created more of himself.
He created more.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
want to tell you guys about something.
This was something Ricky researched. in
AI
preparation.
is now being researched, you know, more than ever. And this one company made AI. That's not too difficult. But now they're trying to program this AI to make AI.
Which
Yeah.
is like, it's like, do you want the Matrix to be real?
Yeah, honestly, that
And then we
that
got
sounds like a bad idea.
It
brings up the
I-
question: if the AI made new AI,
Mhm.
would it program that AI to be subordinate, or would it recognize a higher cause and program the AI to be as smart as it
I
can possibly
think
program it.
it would make the other AIs better than itself, but not because it recognizes of a higher cause. Just because it's programmed to make
Fully complete its task to the highest extent.
exactly. So I think it would just create more AI that is better than itself, and then those AI would have the same type of programming. It would create AI that's better than that. And
How would we know when the AI is like completely conscious of itself? If an
That's-
AI is making AI, it must know what AI is.
no, because it's programmed just to make this.
Well, what about the AI? So you said they made an AI. They made a robot, a human-shaped robot.
Yeah,
and
it
they
knows
only
you're-
gave it the task to go from point A to point B, and it figured out
Well,
how to get around
yeah,
all the
it
obstacles.
was a
they put
computer
in.
program. They put an AI in a computer program, and all it could do was go from point A to point B, but it had
Oh, so that's
obstacles
what
in
it
its
was,
in
yeah,
its way.
program.
But it was like it was in a human body, but it was animated. But it was
Okay.
in a human body, so it functioned just like a human body. You know, it couldn't bend in ways that we couldn't. You know, it was just like us. And you know, you could see it like trial after trial. It just completely fucking. Oh my bad. Sorry. It can just. It just completely fails, horribly. But eventually, it teaches itself how to walk. You know, and then it teaches itself after a long time to like learn how to step on something and then jump. You know, and then start running and stuff.
So essentially, they've programmed an AI that knows how to learn.
It's machine learning.
Absolutely. And
That's-
this was kind of scary
But it's
too.
machine learn, programmed to learn, not necessarily programmed to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
There's
like
difference.
with
Well, that-
trial and error, it like it's variables.
Well,
I
don't
guess,
you have
know?
to think in order to learn? You have to kind of make hypotheses. Like, it's like, oh, I tried to do this and it didn't work, so now I have to try
It can
to do
remember
this.
things.
Well, here's something
Well,
really
it
scary.
It programs it into itself like this was a bad attempt.
It can program itself. That's unbelievable.
The
What were you gonna say?
the Facebook. So they're doing all kinds of like different data mining things using Facebook,
On you.
and computers are using that to learn what it means to be human. So imagine a bunch of like face bots running around like, yeah,
Hey, here's my opinion,
I'm-
and it's more right than yours.
check out what kind of dinner I made for my dog today.
Yeah, there's enough of face bots out there already.
Yeah, face bots.
Oh, you're totally right.
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting.
Must acquire likes.
It's quite interesting to think
Heart
of like
react
how
only.
where AI is gonna go within these next few years.
Meme bots.
I
They're just
think
gonna
you,
make memes.
I know that you guys, and I kind of want to. This is a really good one to end it on and discuss on this last point. But so they had two different AIs that didn't know each other, and they put them in a program where their goal was to collect apples, and the only other thing that they could do is shoot beams at each other to temporarily like
What?
stun the other one for a few seconds.
So I suppose they were hungry for apples.
Yes,
Well, they were programmed to get apples, not necessarily hungry for apples.
programmed to be
It's just
hungry.
like, my mission is
and
to
so
acquire apples.
basically, I saw the video, so they'd be like kind of running around and shooting at each other sometimes, not all the time, just sometimes. And eventually, they found that when apples were in abundance, there'd be no violence between the two. But when the resources became scarce, they would start being violent towards each other and shooting each other and to stun the other one. So I think it's kind of, you can kind of relate that to our
a
kind.
human
Yeah.
situation where 1% of the global population, actually the top tenth of 1%, I believe, owns like half of the wealth, which I guess equates to resources because of how we operate. But
The difference is the people with resources are still just super violent.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
abundant or not. They're just gonna like, hey, let's ruin everything for everyone all the time.
well, do you think it's because they're naturally violent or because they're
It's
afraid
programming,
of
dude.
losing
It's-
their power?
I mean,
kind
Yeah.
of thing?
I think, you know, you could, it's not like literal programming, but, you know, it's like
Conditioning.
conditioning. It's what we put out there. It's what people think. It's what people see. So I think we owe it to ourselves to change the programming of our people. And
True.
put
So,
How can we do that?
Change your own
art
programming.
With
music.
art. with our art.
Definitely, dude. This is what this is about, you know?
Y'all, we gotta
And talking,
redefine.
Write some protest songs, guys.
We have to redefine the American dream.
Oh,
That's true. The American dream is
that'd be a good thing to talk
a
about
lie,
next week.
dude. A lie.
The American
So stay
dream.
tuned for next week, and we will do, if not a short segment, we will do a longer segment on the American dream. We'd like to conclude our show. We'll end our show right here as a good ending point. Thank you, Andy L,
Yeah.
aka Ali Lambeth.
Our
Thank you
first
for
guest.
coming to the TheTreeHouse
Thank you
Live
for
as our
having
guest.
me.
Of course.
It was a great time.
Of course. We are your hosts, Jacob Bruner.
And Andrew Sanchez.
We have Ricardo Perez
Thank you so
working
much.
behind the scenes, and our new intern, Mr. Nicholas Van Buskirk, who is a member of the Corduroys, which
As well as Ricky.
Ali had
September
mentioned.
6th, Wednesday night. That's
September-
next week.
Yes, we'll put the link in the description.
Pick up your tickets for Collage. If you haven't, you'll probably run out of time very soon.
Do not
Speaking
forget.
of
do not forget.
collages.
Oh yeah, speaking of collages, on a final note, our wonderful guest Andy L has made these truly
Little
incredible
teeny
collages.
tiny political zines. I'll bring it up. Called Battle Cry. This is the first issue. You are welcome to find one at OnPopOfTheWorld. We sell them through there. Or I'm hiding them in random spots around Greensboro. So if you find one, it's yours. You get to keep it.
How much are they?
They're 75 cents a piece. Little teeny tiny. Going away.
Yeah, they're really awesome. So
Yeah.
check it out. Pick one up.
It's like a little article written in it about the illusion of choice and its effect on the American state.
Yes, support local art. Thank you guys so very much. This concludes the second episode of The TreeHouse Live, coming at you live from
The
The
TreeHouse
Treehouse.
live at 11 a.m. Fashionably late or so.
You thank for this watching. See you tomorrow. We will, or
Week
not
next.
tomorrow, but week next. Week next.
Bye.
Bye good.
Hey.